Well, okay, what is a kilowatt hour? Okay, you can go to a website like Wikipedia, and if you understand all this, hey, that's great, but that's not what this video is all about. Okay, I would like you to know what a kilowatt is, though. So when we look at our meter and it says 1 on there, that is 0.00 kilowatts. So on the return side, okay, it would be a one. So that's just, then there's a whole bunch of different conversion things. Here's a converting calendar. You could type in how many watts you have. Let's say we have 20 watts, and that's what the kilowatt would be. All right. So there's a whole bunch of utilities out there on the internet. You can figure all that out. So now that's not kilowatt per hour. All right, as in Wikipedia's thing. This is a formula for kilowatt per hour, which is, forget it. This is for 1 hour. Okay, this is just, it's confusing as heck for somebody that is not savvy in this area. So that's not the intent of this video. So sit back and enjoy. This is a kilowatt, as in killing a watt. Okay, made by P3 company, and we're going to go test some things out. This will measure the wattage that items are pulling, and we're going to see just what different things pull. Well, getting the angle of the light on there to see this is a chore. So you see some of me in there. So right now it's on voltage. We have 122.3 volts coming through the wall. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in some things here, and I'm going to see just what they pull. Okay, this is going in. Actually, let's do this. Up here, there's an option for kilowatts per hour, and then we have our wattage. Okay, so we're going to click wattage, and we have amps here too. So amps we're going to put on now. We're going to plug this guy in. All right, now with no USB devices plugged into this, we have a light on the front, and up here now, this is pointing 0.07 amps. So on the wattage side, 0.3 watts. Now remember, a typical house is built by kilowatts. All right, and so you take this and just add it to. Now, if we wanted to see exactly what this is pulling without any USB devices plugged into it, and we want to see kilowatts per hour, we hit this guy over here, and now it does a time. You see a blinking thing on the bottom, so it's doing a time. I'm actually going to show you on an ironing board, an iron, and what it does. So this can run. You can see how long it takes, and as far as how many watts it's kicking out. So this is the clock that does it, and you come over here, and you can see the value that it comes out. So it's very minute what this guy does. So it's 3 watts there. We're going to plug something in now. All right, I've got a USB charger with nothing on it. Okay, so nothing, no batteries in there being charged. So I'm going to take this out, and with one hand, let's see, I'm going to put a couple batteries in there. We're going to pop it into the USB, and now it kicks up to 4, 5. Is it going to go any further? So I went up a couple more. So it does draw some wattage. All right, I'm also going to plug in this is a solar power charger. It's actually picking up a light from the kitchen charging. But if it was totally dead, I would have to plug this in to get the kickoff. So I'm going to plug that in. All right, it's charging. It went up to 8. So there's some interesting facts about having a USB charger plugged in all the time. All right, so let's move on to something else. All right, I have a fan here that has multiple speeds up on top. So we're going to take it through each speed cycle. And if you have this on all day long, and just what it's going to be pulling. So right now, I have this plugged in. I have, I want to make sure I have amps. We're going to turn it on to the low speed. Okay, it's on speed 1. And there we go. Wow, that's pretty, that's the highest yet. Because that USB port didn't, the hub didn't do that much. I'm going to move it up to the second speed. Okay, it moved up to 0.33. A high speed, tornado winds type thing. Settled down at 0.42. So imagine having that under all day and running. Okay, I want to show you this. This is a 19-inch monitor. It's on sleep, okay? I don't have a computer turned on at all. It's just the monitor turned on and it's asleep. Look at what it's pulling. And that's that's 0.07 amps. On the wattage, it's 3 watts. So when we look at kilowatts, you leave that thing on all the time. So you go on vacation and it's on all the time. That's what it's pulling. Okay, totally waste of energy. So remember to turn off your flat screen monitors. Your old CTR monitors, if you still have those, they pull a lot more. It's like an iron on an ironing board. I have my Android tablet sitting there charged. It's probably fully charged anyway, but I just leave it plugged in all the time. And let's take a look. So it's just like the USB hub. It's 0.1 on the amps and on the wattage. Okay, so that's now I'm going to do something now. All right, let's take this plug out. Now let's see if it's actually pulling any power, anything. So here we go. Hey, it's down to 0. Let's go to amps. It's so minute, it's not picking up. So leaving a connector plugged in and the cord unplugged, in this case, is so minute. It probably is something, but it's so minute the meter doesn't pick it up. Let's check that same thing out with a laptop power supply. Okay, I have a laptop power supply plugged into the side of the computer, and the laptop turned on. So let's go take a look what it's drawing. That to me is a lot. So that's what it's drawing. I'm trying to get the glare of the light out. Alright, so now let's switch over to, I don't know which one I was on. Okay, so that's pretty high. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to unplug the power supply from the laptop. So let's say you leave the power supply plugged into the wall. Let's see what it does. Alright, trying to get a glare. There it is. It's zeros. Let's move over to the other one. It has zeros. Okay, so once again, it's very minute. It probably is something because there is a light on the power supply itself. So that light's got to be using something. Alright, so just some good information for you. What I have here is a double fan. It's a window fan. And there's speeds on it. We're going to check the high and low speeds. Right now it's off and plugged in. So it's standing by to be used. And there's no visible reading of amps or anything there. So now what we're going to do is turn it on to a low. It's going to make some noise. It's on low now. There's 2 motors in there. Look at that. Let's go over here. That's a lot. To me, that's a lot. So let's go to high and see what happens. Wow. To me, that's a lot. That's our highest yet, I think. If you go to per hour, do your time. Let's do, I don't know how long we want to do this, but that's just astronomical to me. And just think we have that in all day long in a window. It's got to be cheaper than if you were running an air conditioning unit, which I don't have a window unit to test it on, so that would be interesting what that is. Alright, here's a steam iron that's found in most households. Right now we got 0 up there on both sides of the house. Alright, we're going to turn this on to low. I've already done this once just to see what happened. We just turned it on. It's not on steam. Alright, so it's on low. Look at that. That's not point something, that's 9.58. Rounding that off, that's 10. Alright, let's go over to there. Look at that. Look at that. Is that amazing? Okay, so now what we're going to do, I don't know why it went to 0. I have no idea why it went to 0. Oh, it went, okay. When it reaches the heat, that's pretty cool. Okay, so I'm going to turn it down to, okay, once it reaches the heat, it stops drawing power. There it goes. All right, but I want to show you something now. When I put it to steam, it doesn't change. The only thing that changes, it takes longer to get up to that heat and for the steam. So I'm going to tilt it. We got steam. We got steam. We're still pulling amps, and now it reached the temperature. So the idea of you spending maybe 5 minutes ironing a shirt doesn't mean that you're pulling that much amps per second of using the iron. It takes power to get it up to the heat, then it turns off, and until it needs the power again to bring it, keep it, and establish that heat, maintain that heat. So not all of a bad thing, but boy, is that pulling some amps when it's actually working. So hopefully you liked the video. If you have any more ideas of what you want tested, I'll see if I can go to a friend's house and test it, like a window air conditioning or something. But I need a list. I want to do at least 5 things per video. So if you want to see something that you have in the house and you want to see just how many amps it's pulling, go ahead. But use the formula if you want to. But remember, all houses, all apartments are built on kilowatts. All right, so you have to figure, just because you're pulling 10 watts on this item, you have to figure out how long during the day that is, and then how it bounces against your total kilowatts. Hopefully you understand that. I'm an electrician, so I understand it, but I'm trying to make you aware of what you have plugged in your house. A kilowatt, if you can get one of those off of eBay, I have no idea where I bought this one from. I've had it for a long time. But that's what it's meant, is a kilowatt. You realize what you're doing, you unplug it, and you just killed a watt. All right? Hey, like it, give a thumbs up if you like it, share with a friend, and more videos to come.